Okay, what race do you identify as?
Hispanic.
Black. Well, I'm Asian, and I'm also Mexican.
Black.
Puerto Rican and black.
African American.
Afro-Latino.
Hispanic, Latin American.
Hispanic.
Okay, do your teachers have different expectations because of your race?
I'd say in the past, yes.
Some do, some don't. Some teachers think that because I'm black or because of like what I like listen to or my music sometimes that I'm not going to be able to do my work, and so they think that I'm not going to do it or something, and I have to kind of prove them wrong in terms of I can do this and I can do what I do in terms of getting a good grade.
Yeah, I think race plays a part in it. Like I think your appearance and how you carry yourself also plays a role.
In school-wise, especially when, like in English, I feel like they expect less of you because you're black, and so you have less to write and you don't know as many things as, for example, a white person.
I think they do. I think sometimes I have to try harder and make sure I look more focused in class because, or I'm seen as that like black kid who's not really doing well or not doing anything. And so I also try to dress well at school because I don't want to look like I'm not engaged in class.
I think sometimes they do because like I'm supposed to be okay with getting a B instead of an A. I feel like sometimes they have a lower standard for me.
Sometimes they do. Doesn't happen very often, but they usually do at first when I meet them.
I wasn't recommended to go into higher math despite my white classmates being moved on, and so now I'm behind everyone else.
Teachers tend to like praise you if you get like a good grade on something, and they really don't like do that to other students, and it's like kind of degrading just because like why do you think like I shouldn't get a good grade if somebody else isn't?
There was an incident where a teacher, I submitted an assignment, and afterwards he gave me feedback and he exposed to me in front of my entire class telling me that my English wasn't good enough, and he automatically talked like in front of the entire class telling me, oh, you're a Hispanic, you're an immigrant, you know we have programs to help you with your English. And it really did offended me in a way where I was like, how are you gonna tell me that I'm an immigrant? And so like I explained to him I was born here, my parents may have immigrated here, but that doesn't determine that my English isn't good.
If I try to go into a higher math class, they'll be like, you can't go into the higher math class because you didn't take it. Like, and it's like a big like fuss to like get in just from honors, like honors algebra, pre-calc, like from regular to honors, and like they never let me do that. This year, instead of taking like math studies, I took math SL, and like it's really easy. But like all the fuss of like trying to like fill out all these paperwork and being told that, oh no, like you really can't succeed. It's very like, you know, you see it.
When I was younger, probably like when I was a freshman, people used to call me an Oreo because like that means being like white on the inside and black on the outside. And I think that was probably because like I cared like about my grades, and like I guess people just assumed like, you know, if you're black or African American, you just don't. And I found it really offensive.
Probably sometimes people assume that I live in the ghetto or I live in a dangerous area because there are more minorities like surrounded by me, or just because I'm a minority myself.
Usually like in stores, they like pay attention more on me, like if I'm gonna steal something.
At my work, I work at Brandy Melville, so people won't ask me for help, or they'll assume I don't work there because I'm the only black person that works there, so they won't ask me for help. Or if I go up to them and I'm like, do you need any help or anything, they'll just be like, no thank you, and then they'll ask someone else, because it's mostly like, I don't know, like tall, blonde, beautiful girls that work there.
Well,
as I walk into a grocery store or a store in general, all eyes are on me, basically. They just think we steal, I guess.
A lot of times when I tell people that I'm Hispanic, they will tell me, no, you can't be. You're too pale. Your hair is too light. You don't have an accent in English. But all of these things, they're not like required criteria to be Hispanic. Being Hispanic is about your culture. It's not about your appearance.
Maybe when I was in 3rd grade, like the first day I came there, my teacher labeled me as a troublemaker because I was excited to learn.
I remember freshman and sophomore year, teachers used to say that I needed extended time, or they would tell me that a class was too hard for me, but it really wasn't. I would have A's or B's and they would just baby me because of my skin color.
People would like automatically assume I don't speak English, and they would just like speak to me in Spanish, or like be like, oh, do you speak English? And they would try to like speak Spanish, but like broken Spanish if they're like white. So yeah.
So someone once questioned my ability to finance an activity, and when I told them my parents couldn't afford it, they asked me if I had grandparents, and I was like, no, like my grandparents are immigrants from Haiti. They don't have a lot of money. And she was like, well, you have a white side too.
If I went to go ask for help and they never knew who I was, they'd be like, do you need assistance like to translate English? And I'm just like, no. And then they'd be shook, or they'd be surprised when I responded with in English.
A lot of times people kind of belittle my successes because of my race, and they'll be like so many times people are like, you're gonna get into college because you're black, like not because I worked really hard in school and I've gotten great grades or whatever, but because the color of my skin.
I mean, it's probably happened more than I noticed, but one time I remember in particular, like a while back, I did have a teacher that was a lot less expectant of me, I guess. She really didn't give me much of the work that my other classmates got. I don't know if that was why, but that was something that I really remember from her.
I don't know exactly, but I would say like because of I identify myself as a Latino person, everyone thinks that I speak Spanish, and actually I'm Latino, but I speak Portuguese.
Anytime I'm walking through my neighborhood, I will notice that a mother will put their children on the other side of them, even if it means putting them in the road. Good? That's all.
A statement.
Action.
Or incident regarded.
As an instance of indirect.
Subtle.
Or unintentional discrimination against
members of a marginalized group,
such as a racial or ethnic minority.